that you say, look, I think we both agree, and you turn to Roger Williams, we both agree we're not going to touch Social Security. Roger Williams, you just said a second ago we need to cut spending. If you're not going to reform Social Security, what are you talking about in terms of cutting spending? Where are you going to cut spending? We know what's going on. We know all the growth in spending is in Social Security and the other benefits. So
well,
what are you saying?
There's no question about that, but we need to begin to start cutting something, for crying out loud. I mean, you know.
So what are you going to cut?
Well, look I mean, if you want to start talking about cuts, we need to look at every department. I mean, I'm a 10th Amendment guy. Pass power to the states, get government smaller. I think government should do three things: collect my taxes, defend my borders, help me with infrastructure, and then get out of the way and let this great engine of capitalism and Main Street begin to work. That's what we need to be doing, but we got to get serious about it, and we need to cut expenses, not raise expenses. And I'm excited, Marie, about this tax bill. This is going to be great. I'm a business person. Yeah. People are so excited out there about the chance of getting more money come January with less withholding. They're going to spend that money. We're a consumption-driven nation. It's going to be good for this country.
Yeah, but just let's not forget what Josh is saying here.
Not my state.
Basically saying, yeah, you are looking at a corporate tax cut that's going to be impactful, but partly you're paying for it by removing that state and local tax deduction, which will mean higher taxes for some people. Congressman Williams, are you comfortable with a corporate rate and a pass-through rate of 22%? Should it go that way?
Well, I've always been at 20%. I think corporate tax should be around 20%. So I want to stick with that. Again, we're talking about raising it to 21 or 22% to pay for something. The pay for should be the reduction in the size of federal government, not raising taxes. So 20% is a great rate. It will let corporations and people make more money, put more people to work, let them realize the American dream. Now, I will say 21 or 22% is not a deal breaker for me. It's much less than what we're paying now.
I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that $1.5 trillion deficit. I'm also worried about the fact that you're a cop and a teacher in Paramus, New Jersey. This bill, tax hike, will go up $5,000, Maria. Businesses are going to leave. I want to cut the corporate tax rate. That's my position.
Right.
But you can't also then load it up on our backs in Jersey.
I totally understand that.
And expect us to carry the bill. And your point, I get your point.
The first thing that Mr. Murphy did as soon as he won governor of New Jersey was just talk about his millionaire's tax. The first thing that he said. I know. Now he doesn't want to do it because he's got to rethink it because he sees this deduction going away. But don't you think over time a plan like this, which removes this deduction, is going to correct some of these governors and state legislators that all they can do is raise taxes on the rich? I mean, maybe they need to start thinking about their state taxes, bringing them lower and pulling in the spending. Isn't this the kind of thing that's actually going to change that kind of behavior over time?
I think, of course, every single state's got to open their books and make sure we get more fiscally responsible, including my state. But you can't overnight flip the switch and suddenly say you can't deduct your property taxes, you can't deduct your state and local taxes.
So how do you do
because
it?
Home values will go down 10%.
How do you get these guys to say, oh, we better rethink this? Maybe a millionaire's tax is not such a good idea.
I think you already hear everyone saying we're going to rethink this, right? That's been the clear language. That's been the clear language. Of course we got to rethink this. We're facing now a huge tax hike from the federal government that's suddenly going to be on our backs, and we're going to have housing prices free fall. And what housing prices free fall, that puts a ton of pressure on local governments, and businesses will leave.
Yeah.
And people will be underwater in their homes.
You're right.
Right. Just watch the recessionary impact, and then you want to load up I don't understand how we keep ignoring the fact that this adds to the deficit and is going to pile on our national debt.
Oh, Congressman, let's be honest. President Obama doubled the debt in 8 years. I didn't hear a peep out of anybody when he was doubling the debt from $10 trillion to $20 trillion.
Should have talked to me. I was peeping. You were peeping.
Well, Maria, the best way to fix some of these states that have these issues is tell them to move to Texas. We got no personal income tax.
I know that. I think you're going to see an influx of people.
Yeah, we're paying, by the way, because I'm paying for it. Yes, I got it.
Yes, well, look, there's no doubt we're going to see mobility here. People will leave these high-tax states. I agree. We'll see if it actually moves the needle on behavior here. Congressman, great conversation. Really appreciate both of you joining us this morning. We are talking about all the important issues, sir.
Thanks, Maria.
Thank you. Roger Williams, Josh Gottheimer there.